capital city of South Korea, Seoul.
Korea nowadays is known to be the source of great forms of entertainment like K-pop and K-dramas.
Right. It has a reputation for being a technological powerhouse with companies like Samsung and Hyundai. But what if I tell you that wasn't always the case?
Surprising as it is, around 70 years ago, South Korea was one of the poorest countries in the world that was devastated by the Korean War.
Not only that, but even before the war, Korea was a country that tried to remain isolated from the world and avoided adapting to the continuously changing world.
That's correct. And for that reason, we are going to be making a series about Korea's change and development throughout the decades while linking everything to theories of international relations.
And what better place to start than here? Changgyeonggung Palace.
But first, to better understand why this is the best place to start, let's quickly recap South Korea's history over the past 2 centuries.
Starting from the 14th century, Korea was governed by an absolute monarchy under the Joseon dynasty. However, by the late 19th century, the nation faced increasing pressure from other powers like Japan, China, and Russia, so to reinforce national integrity, the king decided to declare the Korean Empire.
However, this empire only lasted until 1910, the year in which Korea was forcefully annexed to the Japanese Empire and became a colony. It wasn't until the end of World War II that the country was liberated. Yet the country was divided by 2 ideologies that led to the Korean War.
Following the war, the Korean peninsula was divided along the 38th parallel and South Korea suffered extreme poverty. However, in the following decades, the country experienced a rapid economic development known as the Miracle of the Han River.
Yet, the growth was led under a dictatorial government. Eventually, in the 80s, several democratization movements took place, and South Korea achieved free elections in the early 90s. Nowadays, the country has continuously evolved and became what it is today.
Wow, that was a quick recap, wasn't it? But then, how does this link to the palace?
Well, the palace has existed ever since the 15th century, and it also managed to survive despite colonization and the devastating war. So it is a great example of how South Korea has survived as a nation through many experiences and adaptations.
So, in the following videos, we will visit other interesting sites and talk about Korea throughout time.
Yes, in the next chapter we will be talking about realism, so please join us on the journey. Hasta la próxima!